Hello everyone. Our topic for today is arterial supply of the heart. It is also known as coronary circulation. Mainly heart is supplied by two arteries. They are right coronary artery and the left coronary artery. First let us see from where the right coronary artery and the left coronary artery are originated. These both are originated from the aortic sinuses. We have two aortic sinus. They are anterior aortic sinus and the posterior aortic sinus. From the anterior aortic sinus, the right coronary artery arises, and the posterior aortic sinus is divided into right aortic sinus and the left aortic sinus. From the left posterior aortic sinus, the left coronary artery arises. The right coronary artery arises from the anterior aortic sinus. The left coronary artery arises from the posterior left aortic sinus. Let's write it here. That's all about the origin of right coronary artery and the left coronary artery. Now let us look at the course and their branches. Let's draw our own diagram and discuss these course and the branches of right and left coronary arteries. Let us assume this is the heart and this is the aortic sinus here. And you may have doubt that where is this aortic sinus is located. This aortic sinus is located at the very beginning of ascending aorta. This is the aortic sinus here. This is the anterior aortic sinus here. From here, the right coronary artery arises. This is the right coronary artery here. This descends down and travels posteriorly. Right coronary artery descends down and travels posteriorly and gives rise to posterior interventricular artery. This is the posterior interventricular artery. And it also gives rise to the right marginal branch. This is the right marginal branch here. And we have the left coronary artery. This is the left coronary artery here. And this left coronary artery is very short and it divides into the two branches. The circumflex artery, this is the circumflex artery here. And it also gives rise to another branch, that is anterior interventricular artery. This is the anterior interventricular artery. Let us write it down here. Right coronary artery gives rise to the posterior interventricular artery and the right marginal artery. This right marginal artery is also known as acute artery, and the left coronary artery gives rise to the circumflex artery and the anterior interventricular artery. This anterior interventricular artery is also known as the LAD. That means left anterior descending artery. And this circumflex artery here gives rise to the left marginal branch. This is the left marginal branch here. This left marginal artery is also known as obtuse artery. Anterior interventricular artery gives rise to one more branch, that is diagonal artery. This is the diagonal artery. This is also known as the lateral branch. This right coronary artery also gives rise to two nodal branches for the conducting system. They are SA nodal branch and also the AV nodal branch. This SA nodal branch supplies the SA node and the AV nodal branch supplies the AV node. That's all about the cores and their branches. Now let us look at the blood supply for the parts of the heart. Now let us draw a very simple diagram here. Now let us assume these are the ventricles of the heart. And let us draw a line here. This is the right ventricle here. And this is the left ventricle. Right side to this line, all the structures are supplied by the right coronary artery. And left side to this line, all the structures are supplied by left coronary artery. Now let us see what are the structures supplied by the right coronary artery and what are the structures supplied by the left coronary artery. The right atrium, as we see in the diagram, it also supplies the right ventricle here, P. Here it also supplies some part of the left ventricle. This is the interventricular septa here and some part of That means the posterior part of interventricular septa. As we already saw, it also supplies to SA node and also to the AV node. Now let us look at the structures that are supplied by the left coronary artery. The left atrium, as you see in the diagram, the left ventricle, and see it also supplies the anterior part of the right ventricle, and it also supplies the anterior part of the interventricular septum. That's all about this. Now let us look at the conducting system. As we already know, we have SA node and the AV node and the bundle of His, and from here we'll get the Purkinje fibers here, right bundle branch and the left bundle branch. And this is bundle of His. Now let us see what are the arteries that supply for this conducting system. The area which I marked here is supplied by the right coronary artery, and the remaining all area is supplied by the left coronary artery. Now let us write what are the structures supplied by the right coronary artery. As we already know, it supplies the SA node, AV node, bundle of His, and some part of left bundle branch. These are the structures supplied by the right coronary artery. Now let us see what are supplied by the left coronary artery. The right bundle branch completely supplied by the left coronary artery, and also major part of left bundle branch. And that's all about the conducting system. Now let us go to the most important part here. We previously discussed that SA node and the AV node are supplied by the right coronary artery. Here is an exception. In most of the people, that means in 65% of the people, SA nodal branch is given by the right coronary artery, and the remaining 35% of the people, the SA nodal branch is given by the left coronary artery. This is the most important point here. We also discuss about the cardiac dominance. In most of the people, that means in 67% of the people, the right coronary artery gives rise to the posterior interventricular artery. In this case, this is known as the right cardiac dominance. And in 15% of the people, the left coronary artery gives rise to the posterior interventricular artery. This means this is known as the left cardiac dominance. And in 18% of people, both right coronary artery and the left coronary artery gives rise to the posterior interventricular artery. Then this is known as the codominance. We also have some exceptional cases. That means in 4% of people, they have accessory coronary artery. Now let us look at all the arteries in the diagram. This is the right coronary artery here, and this gives rise to the SA nodal branch. This is the SA nodal branch here, and this is descending down. This right coronary artery is descending down and turns posteriorly and gives rise to the posterior interventricular artery. This is the posterior interventricular artery here, and this also gives rise to the right marginal branch. This is the right marginal branch here, and we also have the left coronary artery. This is the left coronary artery here. As we already know, it is very short, and this gives rise to the two branches. They are the circumflex artery. This is the circumflex artery here, and the anterior interventricular artery. This is the anterior interventricular artery. And this circumflex artery gives rise to the marginal branch. This is the marginal branch here. And this anterior interventricular artery gives rise to the diagonal branch. This is the diagonal branch. This supplies to the left ventricle. And that's all about the arteries. If you like the content, please do like and share. And if you are having any doubts, please do comment down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.